I have another PIZOOKIE. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, for today's mukbang, I am finally bringing you guys another PIZOOKIE. So, I was originally going to make a replica of a peanut butter pie Oreo because those are my favorite Oreos, and somebody requested that I do that. But I got a lot of requests to make a birthday cake PIZOOKIE, so I decided I'm going to do that one first. So I'm really excited for that. I put a ton of ice cream on top. I'm just so excited to see how it turned out. And then I made this recipe that I've been wanting to try for a really long time, and that is pizza fries. So I saw this short video on TikTok of pizza fries, a recipe for pizza fries, and I made a few altercations, so it's a little bit different, but I'm really excited. It was super easy, so I hope it turned out okay. And then also for today's video, I have a story time. It's from high school, so it was a while ago, but I thought about it the other day and I was like, I should tell that story for a mukbang. But first I'm gonna get eating because I'm beyond excited. So I think I'm gonna start with the PIZOOKIE, like I always do. So I did kind of like a mixture of a sugar cookie base and a regular PIZOOKIE base. And then on the inside I put vegan frosting, my homemade strawberry jam, and then I mixed vegan white chocolate chips and vegan sprinkles into the dough. The frosting melted into a liquid, like a full-on liquid. Alright. Oh my gosh. That legit tastes like birthday cake. The frosting is a really good addition, but I think next time I would do white chocolate chips because the frosting just melted. It tastes really good though, so I don't know, because I think that addition of the vanilla frosting makes it taste like birthday cake. Because you can't have a cake without frosting, so. Wow. Okay. And before I start on the story time, I'm gonna try the fries because I'm just super excited. So I put fries on the bottom, then a layer of cheese, vegan cheese. I added marinara sauce, another layer of vegan cheese, and then this vegan pepperoni from the brand Field Roast. I've never had it before, but I just saw it at Vaughn's and I think it's a new item there, so I'm really excited to see how it tastes. Yum. So the fries are a little dry, and I don't know if that's because I baked them too long, but they're still really good. The pepperoni is good too. Okay. So, at the time of this story, it was my junior year of high school. So I was around 16 years old at the time. And it was nearing the end of the school year, so that was when most teenagers at my school would usually party more than usual and just hang out and have fun. I mean, I partied it up all year long with my friends, but, you know, end of the school year, that we're nearing summer, so that's when a lot of people at my school would just hang out a lot more frequently. So, it was a Friday night, and I was hanging out with two of my best friends. Well, it was more in the afternoon. I was hanging out with two of my best friends. We'll call them Ella and Victoria. So, we were hanging out at my house, just chilling, having a good time. Because with these two friends, it was that kind of friendship where you could literally sit in silence and still have a good time with each other. So that's kind of what we were doing. And then Ella mentions that she wants to meet up with her boyfriend. Victoria and I didn't know Ella's boyfriend that well, and we didn't really feel comfortable with meeting up with him, but we wanted to be supportive of Ella, so we said, sure, that's fine, we'll meet up with him. Plus, it's not like he was making us drive anywhere, because at the time, none of us had our license. So we couldn't drive anywhere, and so he just asked to meet up at a park that was literally only a 5-minute walk from my house. So we were going to meet up with him there. And I'm not sure if Ella had disclosed that there were going to be other people showing up. I thought it was just going to be Ella's boyfriend that we were meeting up with, but it wasn't. So we get to the park, and nobody's there. I mean, obviously there were people there, but her boyfriend wasn't there. And so we were kind of just hanging out in the swings, and I think that's when Ella finally told us that some of her boyfriend's friends were coming as well. And I was like, I didn't want for this to be some kind of party, but that's totally fine. Like, I'm always willing to meet new people. Like, it's fine. So, I think Ella's boyfriend's friends ended up showing up before he even did. So it was around 10 minutes later, and they show up. There's 3 of them. There was a girl, I don't remember her name. We'll call her Asia. And then there was a guy, we'll call him Ryan, and then Noah was there. So if you guys don't know who Noah is, I have a couple videos on my channel already where I talk about him, and I have one video specifically talking about him and all of the encounters I had with him throughout my years of high school. So if you guys want to know more about him, I would recommend watching that video. I will link it down below. Yeah, so at this point in time, I didn't know him that well, and quite honestly, I thought that he was stalking me because he was just showing up everywhere I went. And so I don't know how he could not have been stalking me. We just didn't know each other that well. But like I said, I had seen him pretty much everywhere I was going. And so when I saw him walking up, I was like, yay. Anyway, but they also brought alcohol with them. Which I didn't think was part of the plan. So at a young age, I decided that I was never going to drink. Mainly because I don't want to put that stuff in my body. But also because I was actually scared of drinking, because I had a lot of friends tell me some really scary things that have happened to them and people that they know due to drinking. So I had always just been scared of drinking as well. So like I said, I already decided I wasn't going to drink anything, and this kind of brought on some anxiety for me because, you know, I wanted these people to like me, and like I already had decided I wasn't going to drink, so I knew I wasn't going to, and so I could literally just picture the whole situation in my head, and I could already tell that I wasn't going to like how this is going to turn out. And honestly, if you're the same way and you've decided that you don't want to drink, then props to you, because I've actually had people tell me too that they respect me for choosing not to drink and keeping to my standards and morals, and they respect me for that. So there's not really anything negative about choosing not to drink. If you don't drink, don't let peer pressure make you drink, because people will, most of the time, unless they're jealous of you or just stupid, most of the time they will respect you for your decision not to drink. And then I have water to drink. So we end up walking up to them, and I didn't really speak to them because I was antisocial, and Victoria didn't speak to them because she was antisocial. Well, no, she was pretty much like the type of person, she just didn't care and just chose not to talk to them because she didn't care and didn't want to talk to them. And it wasn't because she was antisocial, she just did not want to talk to them. So she did it, and then I think Ella ended up talking to them a little bit, but not a ton. So I think it was around 3 minutes later that Ella's boyfriend showed up, and so it was less awkward because I felt like there was a wall between me, Ella, and Victoria, and then the other three, because we just did not know them that well, and so there was just this awkward wall. But Ella's boyfriend kind of like binded that together, like he was the missing piece, so it wasn't as awkward anymore. So Ella instantly went over to him, and then I kind of just stayed with Victoria, and then they decided to start drinking. So I'm not an expert in alcohol or anything, but they brought vodka, and then they brought a peach brisk to mix with the vodka, and that already just sounds kind of stupid. No offense, but it just sounded really weird to me, and it didn't really make sense. And my opinion on the matter was then even further solidified because Ella ended up telling me after that it tasted horrible. So not a good idea. Anyway, they mixed the peach brisk and the vodka together, and they started taking shots. And I don't think Victoria was originally planning on it, but she gave in to peer pressure. And like I said, she's one of those people who doesn't really care, and I don't think she gave in to peer pressure. It was more of just like, fine, I'll do it, you know? And so she ended up taking a shot as well. Keep in mind, we're all under the age of 18. And, you know, in the United States, it's illegal to drink under the age of 21. But unfortunately, at my high school, it was very common for underage drinking to occur. So this wasn't really anything new to me. And now that I think about it, I have no clue where he even got the vodka, because I'm pretty sure Noah brought it. I don't know. Anyway, so Victoria took a shot, and I think Ella took a shot before Victoria. And then Noah turns to me, and he's like, "All right, your turn." I was like, "No, I'm not drinking." And he's like, come on. And I said, no, I'm not drinking. And he kept persisting, and he started kind of getting almost like he was annoyed with me. But I was like, dude, you can do whatever you want. I am not taking that shot. I was like, it's more for you, buddy. You should be happy. So anyway, that kind of put me in a damper. My mood was not very good after that because, like I said, I wanted to be friends with these people. That kind of made me feel, I don't know, I just didn't like it. And so he's like, all right. And so he takes the shot, and I don't think Victoria took any more shots, and Ella might have taken 1 or 2 more, but like I said, it was gross. So they didn't really want to take very many shots. And then Asia, the girl, she said that she had some graded homework papers that she wanted to burn. And in the area I live in, we are like on the border of the desert. So there's tons of desert behind me. And so we were all going to go back there so she could burn some of her homework papers. So not smart, but at the time I didn't, you know, I wasn't thinking things through. I was like, we're going to have a good time. Like, I didn't care about things burning and potentially causing danger to nearby neighborhoods. Anyway, so we head toward the desert, and I'm still sticking with Victoria because Ella's with her boyfriend and I didn't know the other 3, so I was just hanging with Victoria pretty much the whole time. But we end up making it pretty far into the desert, and Ella's boyfriend finds this cardboard box. And a few of them had backpacks. I think Noah had one, and his friend Ryan might have had one, and Asia had one. I actually think Ella's boyfriend had one too. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it kind of does, because then Ella's boyfriend pulls out a small thing of gasoline and he starts spraying it on this cardboard box. Victoria and I kind of look at each other and we're like, what the heck is he doing? And he proceeds to light the box on fire. And when I say it went up in flames, Victoria and I had to jump back because we felt the heat. And we were already standing like a good 10 feet away from the cardboard. So Ella's boyfriend, he walked over to us and he said, bro, it cinched my leg hairs off and some of my eyebrow hairs. And it smelled really bad. But I felt kind of bad because Victoria and I were kind of laughing quietly, but we were laughing because we're like, it kind of serves you right. You shouldn't have done that. So that was funny, at least to me and Victoria. I actually think Ella laughed too. Then we continued on into the desert. And we make it to this little hill, and at the top of it, you can see into the neighborhood. And so we planned on burning the papers there. So Asia opens her backpack and takes out a ton of papers. Like, that poor girl had like billions of homework assignments. Anyway, that's beside the point. She pulls out a bunch of papers and they start lighting it on fire. Oh my gosh, wait. I think I knew we were going to be burning some homework. I didn't know that Ella's boyfriend's friends were going to come, but I think I knew that we would eventually be burning some homework. So I guess I assumed that it was his homework because I brought marshmallows. So they lit the papers on fire and I took out the marshmallows and I was like, anybody want to roast a marshmallow? And everybody got pretty excited, but then we opened the bag and they were like all melted and stuck together. So we were like, yeah, never mind. And so I just put them away. But that would have been really funny. And then it was nearing the end of the night, so it started getting darker, and we realized we couldn't find Noah anywhere. We started screaming his name, we were trying to find him, and we eventually found him climbing a hill that was like pretty far away because he was super small. We could still hear him if he yelled, but it was far. and it just really wasn't smart, especially around that time. In our area, we get lots of coyotes and rattlesnakes, and the coyotes are pretty dormant, so like if there's only one, you're fine, but if there's a pack, you need to be careful. And we ended up hearing all of a sudden a bunch of coyote howls. They weren't really howls either, it was more like just their typical sound. Their typical sound is really interesting. It sounds like a bird almost. It's like or something like that. I can't explain it, but it sounds more like a bird. So it's really interesting. But we all started hearing that, and because, you know, we live here, we know what coyotes sound like, and so we started freaking out because it was near the area that Noah was in. And so we're like, Noah, get back here right now. We hear coyotes. You need to get back here right now. And he ended up being fine, but it was just really scary, and I don't know why he did that. He was just being a butt. Anyway, so then we start leaving the desert because, like I said, it's getting dark and we didn't want to stay there potentially getting ourselves in danger, so we started heading back to the park. And this is when Noah throws out the option to go back to his place to smoke some weed. So I said no because I was really tired. It was super late and I just wanted to go home. So I told him that I was going home, and Victoria said she wanted to go, and of course Ella said she wanted to go because Ella's boyfriend was going as well. So at this point in time, I was kind of depressed because Ella and Victoria were planning on spending the night at my house, and now they kind of just ditched me. And so I was like, wow, I feel great. So they all start heading back to the park, and I'm with them because the park is near my house, and so I was just going to leave them at the park. When they left to go home, I would park and walk home. As we make it to the park, Victoria ends up saying she doesn't feel well and that she just wanted to go home with me. I was like, okay, that's fine, like, we can get you things you need at home. Ella with her boyfriend and the other three. So, hold on, I need water. Victoria and I head back to my house, and we get all cleaned up, and I think we get ready for bed as well. And we decide that we want to watch a movie. And Victoria and I love watching horror movies together, so I think we decided to watch World War Z. And I think it was in, ready to play, and we hear a knock at the door. And so I'm like, bro, it's late, who are you? And so I don't say that, but I walk to the door and I open it, and it's Ella. And she walks in, and I'm like, are you guys already done? Like, that was not long at all. And she said no, they decided that they were just gonna go home and like not do it. And I was like, okay. And I'm about to shut the door, but she's like, she leans in to whisper to me, and she said that they're sitting on the curb across the street, just sitting there. And I was like, what? And I told her, I was like, they're not coming in my house. Like, I'm sorry, but with everything that they were doing tonight, I don't want them in my house, especially because I have my family home. Like, I'm not gonna put my family in any dangerous, I mean, I know they're not dangerous, but like potentially dangerous or even just uncomfortable situation, especially if it's uncomfortable for me. Like, I just don't know them that well, so I don't want them in my house. And she's like, oh, no. I'm just saying they're sitting out there and I don't know what they need. And I was like, well, do they need some water? I can give them some water. And she's like, no, I already asked that and they didn't want anything. They're just sitting there. I was like, what the heck? Like, why? And this was extra weird to me because the summer prior to this, I actually had one of my best friends come visit me, and she also knew Noah and Ryan because they're kind of buds. And so we were hanging out with them the summer prior. I didn't really talk to them that much, but like we spent a good couple hours with them at the park. And then my best friend and I needed to go home, and so they followed me back home. Like, they ended up going to the park, but they still followed me and her all the way back to my house, pretty much. And so the fact that they were sitting outside on the curb again, or near my house again, I was like, what the heck is going on? They eventually left, but it was just so weird. I I don't know. So that's pretty much the end of the story, because then Ella, Victoria, and I just hung out the rest of the night, and the other 4 of them ended up going back home. But it was just weird and funny, but mostly weird. I don't even know. Very interesting people. So, yeah, it's kind of an interesting story time. It's not like anything crazy happened, but it was kind of fun and funny. I don't know. I just wanted to share it, so I hope you guys enjoyed. So this is going to be my last bite. Alright you guys, that is the end of this mukbang. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.